This could be our stuff coming up, but a lot of times it's not yours. So when we're speaking about energy, you could have walked into a room where there's other people in that room and they're going through something extremely traumatic and you're picking up their energy.
Welcome to Enlighten Up with Christy, the podcast where you learn to choose yourself, rewrite your story, and create love, success, and purpose from the inside out. I'm your host, Christy, and here we go, beyond surface level change into real transformation.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Enlighten Up with Christy. I'm so excited to be with you this week and share with you just some enlightening observations and conversations to help you navigate your work, your week, and your life. So, wow, we are going through a really interesting time right now. I don't know if you've picked up in just where the world is, okay? What I've noticed is that people are being forced to step into a new version of themselves, to have connection with themselves, to have connection with the Creator. And because of that, there can be a wobbliness that feels unsettling, not only in the world, as we can see, everything just feels like it can be incredibly chaotic. But what I've learned is that through chaos, we must go through all of that restriction and constriction in order to expand and to become more pure, more whole, more authentic, more closer to the Creator, as you might say. And so I share this with you because I think there's a lot of uncertainty out there. AI has become very prominent. It's starting to. Some people are paying attention, some people are not. And a lot of people are in fear for their jobs. They're in fear for the future. A lot of people are lonely. They don't know if they'll ever find their partner. Spoke to a lot of women who feel like the clock is ticking when it comes to being able to have a family or birth a family because they haven't met their partner yet or they haven't settled down to be committed yet. And so if this conversation is meeting you there in that place, I just want to comfort you and say that all of whatever it is that you're navigating and whatever it is that you're feeling is absolutely a part of the process, and it's a part of your process. And one thing that we have to learn is that we have to let go. We have to let go of trying to control everything or manipulate things or manipulate people in order to get what we want. And today I want to share with you someone who I really believe is doing great things in the world, Gedale Fenster. He is in Miami, but what I love about this soul is he shows up every day except for Shabbat and the weekend, and he delivers messages. He has these clinics in, I believe it's only in Florida. It might be in more places. I don't know. But they are addiction clinics. And he is so committed to a spiritual journey. He wakes up every morning and he delivers messages to the people of his clinic. And I actually find a lot of his messages to be incredibly valuable. And we've actually followed many authors that I'd been following, 20 years ago, and their books had impacted my life. I hear him reference them frequently, which I'll reference with you in the seasons to come. But today, I actually brought with me his book, and our puppy Neo got a hold of it and took a little chunk out of it. So his book is called Surrender, and I like it because you can just read a page a day. And so what sometimes Gonzalo and I like to do is he'll take a page and I'll take a page and we'll read it to each other. And it starts conversation that allows us to have dialogue, connect. So I turned to a page today and I want to read that to you because it's what is meant to be heard by whomever is listening to this right now. So what it says is, turn your pain into power. Our job in this world is not to understand evil. Interesting that we were just speaking about this. Our task is to overcome it. Just because someone harmed you doesn't mean you have to hurt yourself. The best revenge is massive success. It's time for strength, not self-pity. You don't need to make sense of the darkness. You were never meant to understand it. You were meant to rise above it. Act now. Channel that rage into action. Build what they say you couldn't. Document every win and let success speak. Stop explaining and start executing. A seed for growth. You don't need to make sense of the darkness. You were never meant to carry the logic, only to rise beyond its reach. When someone else's pain spills onto you, the most courageous thing you can do is refuse to let it live inside of you. What happened may not be your fault, but healing is still your choice. Choosing strength doesn't mean ignoring the pain. It means saying, "This ends with me. I choose to grow, not to repeat." There is no greater victory than a soul who turns suffering into strength and moves forward with quiet power. You weren't hurt to stay broken. You weren't hurt to rise stronger. So where can I shift from asking, why did this happen to me, to how can I rise from this with greater strength and purpose? So many of us have had many downfalls and rises, right? I would say that I probably had more downfalls than rises, although I have many blessings, and so do you. Our human nature is to focus on what's not working. And that's interesting, right? Why we always like to focus on what we don't have, or who we're not in a relationship with, or what's, where we used to be versus where we are today, worrying too much about the future. And this is just a human nature. But unfortunately, if we're not aware of this, I would say, negative viewpoint or negative frequency that we tap into, we will continually invite more of the same, okay? But it's a bit of a trap because oftentimes we don't realize we're doing it. And that's where being conscious, waking up every day with intention of the fact that you're choosing to get up out of bed, you're choosing to have a great day, you're choosing to win the day, you're choosing to smile no matter what comes your way. It's your day. You get another day. We get another day. Not to be taken for granted and not to be sold short of the gifts that can lie in your day. So I had decided recently that I would wake up every morning and expect blessings, expect the impossible to be made possible, to run into people who I could serve or they could actually bring light into my life. I woke up and wake up with this intention. So how do you think my day is going to go if I wake up that way? I have learned that so much of the misery in our life has been created because we're running on unconscious programs. And I'm working with a group. It's a really powerful young entrepreneurial group. I think I have around 12 women in this room. And we work every week, and we work on trauma and self-limiting beliefs and manifesting. We work on a lot of things. And most importantly, what I want them to bring to the table is what it is that they're struggling with. What's been their biggest problem that day, that month, that year? The reason why this is necessary isn't because we're focusing on the problem. It's that problem is the one running the ship. Okay, so if you focus on the problem and you're not getting tools to be proactive to help steer the ship in a different direction or to create a new reality around it, it's going to steer your life. It's going to actually steer everything that happens or doesn't happen to you, whether it's positive or negative. The way you're seeing your reality is creating your reality. And this is very important for us to remember. Okay, because if we don't take the will, the negative beliefs, the negativity, the negative side is going to take it for you. So I don't know if you've been feeling amazing, just so fabulous, and then you walk into a room and for whatever reason, you just feel drained, you feel heavy, it feels dark. All right, this happens to all of us. There's not one of us it doesn't happen to, but one of the challenges with this that we need to be very mindful of is that this yes, this could be our stuff coming up, but a lot of times it's not yours. So when we're speaking about energy, you could have walked into a room where there's other people in that room and they're going through something extremely traumatic and you're picking up their energy. Or it could be a friend or a family member that you're close to that you're picking up something that just happened to them. Or it can be a community. It could be a collective consciousness somewhere. It could be the world. Okay. So just because you can't see the lights, like how the light's coming in through these bulbs right now, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Right. So there's light that's coming through these bulbs and it's hitting my face so that you can watch this right now, but I'm not seeing it. And that's the same way we need to look at energy and in our life, right? So what do we do with that when energy is flowing in that we can't see and it's not ours? Well, this is where we have to have tools that we can use in our day-to-day life to help us navigate it, right? So I like to say, okay, return to sender with love and consciousness. Now, that's not my tool. It was a tool I learned long ago by, gosh, I can't remember the guys' names, but they had a program called Access Consciousness. And it was a tool that I learned through a friend through them. And that was really a useful technique for identifying what was my energy and what was somebody else's. So when I say return to center with love and consciousness, if it goes away, then I know it was never mine. If I still feel the same, then it's probably something closer to home. Then we have protocols for that, and we need to learn these protocols. You can no longer sit on the sidelines and the bench of your life and do nothing because you're going to be forced to be conscious and proactive moving forward. We're in the Aquarius age. We're all having to evolve, and we're all having to help each other evolve. I really do believe that COVID was an opportunity for us, even though it brought a lot of fear. We lost a lot of beautiful souls, and I will never downplay that. It also brought a lot of consciousness too. Okay. What did it bring? We had to sit quiet in our silence with ourselves, with the people we love, and we had to get to know them and we had to get to know ourselves. We got to know our fear more if we had fear, or we were called to do something or not do something because maybe you were always a doer and this time you were meant to just be still. And through that, though, there are lingering effects of lack of connection to some degree where people got really comfortable with just being alone. And the way that we built community in the past had suffered because of that. So we're learning how to rebuild community again. And community is really, really important for the health of our being, just our beingness. But when you are in a collective community and people are not taking responsibility for the energy that they show up in and that affects you, that then requires us to be protective of the space. Or we also elevate high enough energetically to where if someone walks into a room and they've got a bad attitude or they're energetically draining, they're not going to affect you because you're working on another plane. You just see the illusion. You see it's a game. You see it's a story they're playing out, and you're not going to get involved in it. Okay? You can wish them well, you can pray for them, you can share light, you can send love, but you don't need to let it affect you. You could just see that this person's in their story. We all get on our stories, right? Some of us are really great at coming up with stories. And we need to really be mindful of that because those stories that we tell ourselves are the stories running the show. And so I've shared this with you before. Sometimes your show is incredibly dramatic, or it could be a CSI, or, it could be a comedy, or it could be, romantic, whatever. Like, what kind of genre do you want your life story to be? I personally like to feed my mind beautiful, liberating, positive stories. I don't get fed by watching other people suffer. That's no fun for me. And I imagine if you're listening to this right now, that's actually not fun for you also. If it is fun for you also, then unfortunately you have greater work to do. But it's not impossible because it's just the awareness. And if you enjoy watching other people suffer, I'd like to invite you to ask why you are causing yourself so much suffering. Where have you become addicted to it, right? Because we become addicted to the feeling that it gives us, the dopamine rush that it might give us, whatever that is. Like our bodies, we're chemicals, we're chemical beings. So, where right now we are constantly being programmed. You get on your social media channels and you're doom scrolling and you're watching things that are programming your subconscious mind. Like, what's so important is what you're allowing to program your subconscious mind. When my boys were younger, they would get really upset with me because I was the strict mom when it came to their video games, and all their friends got to play really horrible games, like Grand Theft Auto. And, there were things that happened in that game that is not acceptable for any child to be playing, rather, any human. And I wouldn't let them play it. And I wouldn't let their friends would come over and they wanted to play these games. And I had literally a lock on the entertainment center. And I was like, guys, you're not playing irresponsible video games. And they were so mad at that when they were younger. But now, as grown men, they're so grateful and appreciative because they have such a strong consciousness because of that. But I knew and I learned this from Dr. Shad Helmstetter. He wrote What to Say When You Talk to Yourself and The Power of, there's another one that he wrote. I can't remember. But he really spoke about the power of subconscious programming. And so when we're doom scrolling, we are programming ourselves, right? And so the algorithms are so smart that they're watching everything. So the minute you click on something dark or the news, it's going to start showing you more of it. And it's going to put you into a fear state. So now you're going to start attracting everything that's fear-based. Okay? So if that comes across your your social media, hit do not show me this again. Okay? There is a button you can say do not show me this again. And do it until they don't show you that anymore. It's very important, okay? Or you could just stay off social media altogether. I'm speaking to those of you, which is a much better idea, but I'm speaking to those of you who may have to get on there for work. I get on there because it's important for me to share positive content to the world, but I definitely, definitely do not let it take over my life like I used to. So, how do we reprogram the subconscious mind? Is it possible? Well, yeah. Absolutely it is, but it requires a discipline. And one of the ways that we do that is, well, first off, I want to back up a little bit because we've kind of been all over the place, but I'm just downloading information and you're getting it. So whatever it is, if this feels like a whole bunch of information, it is because it's just being downloaded. And when it gets downloaded, that means somebody who's listening needs to hear it. So I just go with it. So when it comes to subconscious programming, even in your mother's womb, you were getting programmed all the way up to 7 years old. So during that time, everything you saw, everything you witnessed and experienced was being programmed. And so the lens that you saw the world then after that was based off of that lens and that experience. So if you saw fighting, if you saw negativity, if you saw love, whatever it was that you saw, that became your framework. And that's how you built a life around that. And so the way we reprogram the subconscious mind is that we need to be able to do that during a theta sleep state. So there are different types of affirmations, and you always want to speak in the present tense, like I am. I am worthy of love. I am happy. I am successful. I am in love with the work that I do. I am in love with my lover. I just met the love of my life, whatever it is, right? If you fall asleep listening to these affirmations, once you get to sleep, you go into these different trances and these different sleep states. And when you get to theta, you're in theta for about 5 to 15 minutes. And this is the subconscious mind. So, this is where it's highly influential. Very powerful time to reprogram the mind. That's why it's really great to listen to these affirmations when you're falling asleep before you go to sleep. And I always like to pray too. I don't always do it, but I do my best when I remember to do it. I like to pray out to my angels and my guides and to the Creator to be with me as I sleep and I go into this dream state, and to bring me beautiful dreams and to share with me any messages that the Creator wants me to know. And that's intentional. So the goal is we really want to be observant with how we're showing up in the world, the way we are being in the world, how we're contributing or how we're receiving, and how we're giving in the world, and being very conscious of everything we say and we do, everything we watch, everything we consume, everything. And like I mentioned earlier, if you wake up with the intention, today, I believe I'm going to be blessed. I already am blessed, but I believe more blessings are going to show up. I believe miracles are going to show up. I believe ideas are going to show up. I believe opportunities are going to come. And you just believe that, you've actually put your order into the universe. And so the Creator's listening. And because you asked, the Creator will share with you because you're being intentional. And it could be as simple as, oh my gosh, like your favorite ice cream was out of stock and it's in stock now after months. I don't know. Like it can be so small, but that's also blessings. It can be that you have more peace and more calm through your day. It could be the kids are behaving. It could be that, someone sends you a nice message. It could be anything. But start your day off with a beautiful intention and expect miracles, good miracles, blessings. And you're now being a positive influence in the world. You're no longer being a consumer and just a taker. You're now showing up with intention to do good. So I hope that this podcast served you today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And also, just to mention, we have some really cool events coming up. One is where Gonzalo and I are going to be hosting a relationship reset for couples who are really ready to change their relationship for the better. If you feel like you're struggling, you just can't seem to get ahead, it just doesn't feel right, you can't hear each other, you're not listening to each other, there is no spark, it doesn't feel the way you deserve to feel and your partner deserves to feel, reach out to me and I'll share with you the information regarding this group coaching that we're going to be doing. And yeah, and that's something really exciting to look forward to. And of course, we just love to share the light with you. So don't hesitate to message us with your questions, your comments, and we'll take those into consideration when we continue creating these podcasts, because our number one job is to add value to your life and to help you to elevate your consciousness and enlighten up. Bye for now.
If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe so we can continue rewriting your story with us. Until next time, choose yourself.